You open your banking app at 11:47 p.m. There it is, the number you worked 3 years for. A 20% raise finally in your account. You expected to feel something. Relief, pride, that warm rush people talk about. Instead, you feel almost nothing. You close the app. You open Instagram instead, and within 4 minutes, you're looking at someone else's new car. That's the part nobody warns you about. Not that you won't get the raise, but that when you finally do, it won't feel like you thought it would. 6 months ago, this exact number would have felt like winning. You remember doing the math on your lunch break, picturing the version of you with this salary. That version felt calm, secure, done striving. But now you're here, and you're already thinking about the next number. Maybe it's a title. Maybe it's the house 2 neighborhoods over. Maybe it's just more. Somewhere between picturing this life and living it, the finish line moved. And it's not the first time. Your first real job out of school felt like it would be enough. Then the promotion felt like it would be enough. Then the raise after that. Each one lasted about 3 weeks before it quietly stopped counting. You've caught yourself doing the math on other people too. A coworker mentions their new apartment, and before you can stop yourself, you're calculating what he must be earning. A friend posts a vacation photo, and some quiet part of you starts comparing his flight to your last one. You'd never say this out loud. It feels petty, small, not like you. You start to wonder if the problem is you, if you're one of those people who can never be satisfied. If something is broken in the way you're wired, it isn't. What's happening to you has a name, and it has nothing to do with greed. Your brain isn't measuring your income. It's measuring the distance between what you have and what you expected to have. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Your baseline for normal resets almost as fast as your circumstances improve. The raise doesn't disappear. Your definition of enough just quietly moves to sit right next to it. This isn't a personality flaw. Your brain is built to adapt. What once felt unusual gradually becomes normal. And once it becomes normal, your attention naturally starts looking for what's next. You're not failing to appreciate your raise. Your brain already filed it as old news. Think of it like a thermostat. You don't feel warm because the room is 72 degrees. You feel warm relative to whatever temperature you'd already adjusted to. Move into a 72-degree room from the cold, and it feels like paradise. Live there for a month, and 72 becomes invisible. You'd need 75 now to feel anything at all. Money works the same way. It's never the number that satisfies you. It's the gap between the number and your adjusted expectation. And that gap closes itself automatically again and again. This is the upgrade trap. Every gain quietly resets the meter that measures whether you feel like you have enough. Here's the part that should surprise you. Research on major life events, lottery wins included, has found something counterintuitive. The emotional lift rarely lasts as long as people expect, and happiness tends to drift back toward wherever it sat before the windfall. Not because the money vanished, because the internal thermostat quietly recalibrates around it. So the more counterintuitive truth is this: chasing a bigger number will never fix the feeling, because the number was never the source of the feeling. The gap is. And the gap travels with you, no matter how high you climb. So what do you actually do with a brain that's engineered to never feel satisfied? You don't fight the mechanism. You get curious about it instead. Notice that the reset isn't random. It's relative. Your brain doesn't measure your salary against some fixed idea of a good life. It measures it against whatever you were expecting, and expectation is the one variable you actually have some control over. Most people never examine what enough means to them. They just let it be whatever number sits slightly above their current one, which means the target moves forever on its own, without your input. Unless you're the one who defines it. There's a second layer to this, quieter than the first. The thermostat doesn't only reset against your own past, it resets against other people. A coworker's apartment, a friend's flight, a stranger's car. Each one silently recalibrates what enough is supposed to feel like, even though none of those numbers have anything to do with your actual life. The comparison happens automatically. Choosing what you compare yourself to does not. And the things that seem to resist the reset the longest tend to share one trait: they keep changing. A new car sits in the driveway looking identical every morning until your brain stops registering it at all. A trip, a skill you're building, an evening with people who matter. These keep generating small, unrepeatable moments, which is exactly what a thermostat struggles to adapt to. None of this means the raise didn't matter, or that wanting more is a flaw. It means the feeling of not enough is rarely about your actual circumstances. More often, it's a signal that your baseline just quietly moved again. And it's worth asking every so often whether the number chasing you is really yours. It was never the raise. It was never the salary or the title or the number in the account at 11:47 p.m. You weren't chasing money. You were chasing the moment the gap would finally close, and the gap was never going to let that happen. You weren't ungrateful for not feeling it. You were just experiencing something the human brain is remarkably good at doing with every gain, automatically, without asking your permission. So you open the app again. The number is still there, still real, still yours. This time, You don't wait for it to feel like enough. You just let it be what it is. While some quiet part of your mind is already asking the question it always asks, what number would actually make the gap stop moving? You already know the answer isn't a number. It never was.